Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow any feelings of worry, stress, or tension to feel like it's leaving your body in your outward breath. Breathing in that resourceful feeling of relaxation and just noticing where any signs of tension or stress is in your body. Maybe your forehead, eyelids, around your eyebrows, jaw, or neck. As you breathe in that resourceful relaxation, allow any tension to just melt away. The deeper you breathe, the deeper relaxed you become. Breathing in deeper, and as you exhale, just allowing a long outward breath, so that on the next inward breath you activate your diaphragm. The deeper you breathe, the deeper relaxed you become, eyelids feeling heavier and heavier. As you picture a child holding a helium balloon, just imagine it floating effortlessly on that string. As you start to imagine a similar sensation of lightness and a floaty sensation there in your head. So it almost feels that you don't need any tension in your neck or your shoulders. Your head is just effortlessly floating, and allow that floating sensation to float all the way down into your shoulders and neck, letting go of any tension, all the way down your arms feeling limp, loose. And paradoxically, I want you to imagine your arms feeling both light and floaty, and heavy and limp at exactly the same time, and allow that confusing state of just light and heavy, rigid and limp, to create a wonderful feeling of letting go. Breathing in and breathing out, allow that wonderful feeling of relaxation to even go inside. Your heart relaxes, stomach, lungs, all the way down into your diaphragm. If your neck and shoulders are the bank account of stress, allow that stress to melt away and then focus on your gut. And think of that as the bank account of anxiety. As you imagine any anxiety in your gut melting away, dissipating, so you can breathe in deeply, breathe out deeply, feeling that every outward breath, tension, anxiety, and stress is leaving your body. Consider it a transfusion, breathing in resources like confidence, relaxation, playfulness, and authenticity going in, and any stress and worries and overthinking leaving your body. Breathing in and breathing out, feeling that relaxation going down into your legs, as you imagine your limbs to be like the limbs of a puppet with no strings, no tension, just there, relaxed. As you use the power of your imagination to think back to a specific time, whatever time comes to mind is exactly the right time, but I want you to think of a time where you were confidently having a conversation. You were relaxed. You knew the kind of things you wanted to say, but there was no script. The words flowed. There was a connection. You and the people you were talking to, maybe one person, maybe many. And I want you to go back to that memory, observing you confidently communicating. You can tell from your facial expressions and body language that you're relaxed. You know you're relaxed. See your breathing rate and see you're breathing in a relaxed way, perhaps less from the chest and more from the diaphragm. Your facial expressions let you know that you're lively and playful. But I want you to imagine that as playful as you are, you come across credible, authentic. You're not trying to be anyone else. You are you. And if you can observe that version of you confidently communicating, let me know by nodding your head. And just imagine you're an invisible observer to that memory. And I want you to get close and just observe how you're communicating when you are completely relaxed. I want you to breathe the same way, same rhythm, same pace. Mimic the facial expressions of you when you're lively, playful, and relaxed. Notice the words flow. There's no overthinking, no evaluations as to how you'll be perceived. It's simply you having a conversation, human to human. See the words flow, and when you're confident that this is a confident version of you that communicates well, relaxed, at that point, step into that version of you and feel how it would feel to confidently converse, to interact, ask questions, answer questions, feel the words flow. I want you to get a sense that you already know how to do this. The neural pathways are already built. You don't have to think about breathing, blinking, or walking. If someone said, I want you to read, you wouldn't worry about reading. And I want you to accept the idea that you know how to talk. You know how to have a conversation. And you enjoy having conversations with lovely, friendly people that are interested in you. I want you to get a sense that you're a natural rapport builder, that when you feel comfortable, it's easy for you to have conversations about things you're knowledgeable about. I want you to feel you're reactivating a sense of certainty that you know how to have conversations. How could you believe anything else? As you breathe in and breathe out, connect with that feeling and scan your body for where you feel a sense of certainty that you know how to confidently communicate in a relaxed, playful way. And just point to that location where it feels this sense of certainty that you know how to do that. I want you to imagine a three-dimensional geometric shape in that location. Maybe a sphere, a pyramid, a cube. Not because there's a cube or a sphere or a pyramid there, but because it's a memory tool to access this feeling whenever you need it. I want you to give this shape a color and make the color brighter until it glows. And then notice if it moves or spins or rotates. And if it does, spin it faster in that direction to amplify this feeling of certainty that you know how to have a good conversation with interesting people. If there's a sound attached to it, increase the volume. So there is now a three-dimensional, colorful, glowing shape there in that location with the sound attached. And you can call that confidence. You know how to access this. When you breathe this way, when you focus on the idea that you already know how to have a conversation, you could imagine that three-dimensional shape glowing in that color in that location. I want you to wiggle your toes right now in the same rhythm that this shape is perhaps pulsating or moving, and accept the suggestion that you can wiggle your toes anywhere at any time and nobody would know, and it would reactivate this feeling of confidence and playfulness. Wiggle the toes and just check that it works. Thinking about that shape in that location, that confidence, that certainty. Wiggle your toes and get a sense that nobody knows what you're doing. And how could you not feel playful when you're wiggling your toes secretly? That's it. Connect with that feeling. And then imagine going forwards in time to a TV studio. Imagine that TV studio. And imagine someone that looks exactly like you is perhaps in a green room or having their makeup done. And I want you to see that version of you looking very calm and relaxed, smiling, chatting with the people around you. You've got an absolute sense that this version of you is considering this whole thing as low stakes, very manageable, an easy thing to do. Because that version of you is evaluating that it's just a conversation. So see you getting ready for an interview, looking very relaxed, enjoying the experience. And then see that you're brought out, perhaps in front of TV cameras. See yourself giving two different presenters a hug. And at the point where you see that version of you hugging, see that you smile at the very point where the hug takes place. That the smile itself is activating a sense of relaxation and confidence. At the point where you sit down, perhaps on a chair or a sofa, your posture becomes engaged, lively. There might be people around, but you don't notice because you're making eye contact with whoever is talking, just like you would do in any other conversation. When you're asked a question, you don't overthink it. Allow the words to just flow and observe that, almost like you're seeing you from the perception of a TV camera. See how natural, relaxed, but also engaging you come across. This is a lively, playful, credible, authentic version of you having fun doing an interview on live TV. And then rewind it until there's a version of you arriving, perhaps leaving a taxi, arriving at a studio, and I want you to step into that version of you. The moment you approach the studio, feel a wonderful feeling of positive anticipation. Smile when you see the studio with a sense of, I love this. As the taxi door opens and one foot touches the pavement, activate a sense of purpose. Every footstep is an intention, and you can be intentional. You don't have to think about walking, but you can still intend to walk. You know how to walk, and you know how to talk. You don't need to think anything more than where you're going. Maybe you're signing your name at a reception desk, given a badge, guided to a particular room, and allow yourself to enjoy the experience. Maybe taking a selfie, maybe interacting with other people. If you're offered a drink or food, feel that you're enjoying the experience. If makeup is offered, feel that this is part of the experience. Feel how good it feels to be enjoying what's happening. This is a fun, low-stakes environment. Plenty of upside, no downside. You either win or you learn. And the journey is enjoyable. Breathe in and breathe out, and then feel that after makeup, Maybe you're seeing a screen of live TV output. Maybe you're seeing a previous guest. And as you see the output, just imagine things are going to go well. All the evaluations you're making are of positive outcomes. And then perhaps a runner, a producer, invites you to walk towards the studio. The cameras don't faze you. Any people watching don't faze you. It just gives you a sense that people want to hear your story. Feel how you would feel walking out under the lights. The warmth of the lights warms your soul, melting any fears away, giving you a wonderful feeling of playful relaxation. As you hug the presenters, the very touch of your arms embracing theirs and vice versa makes you smile, and the smile gives you a wonderful feeling of confidence and playfulness. As you sit down, notice how engaged you are, making eye contact with whoever's speaking, and as they ask you questions, feel that whatever leaves your mouth is exactly what is the right thing to say. You just trust. You know how to talk, and you know how to answer questions. And the topic you know more about than anything else is you. And then imagine, before you know it, the conversation is finished. I want you to get a feeling that as you leave the studio, say goodbye to the presenters, and there's a feeling of, if I can do this, I wonder what else I can do. That leaving your comfort zone is where all the good things happen. And there are people that never leave their comfort zone, never take a risk, never take a chance. And at the end of their life, they're filled with regrets. And as you leave that studio, you congratulate yourself that you are a risk taker. You are a pioneer, an adventurer. You are not afraid to leave the comfort zone, because that's where the best life experiences are. And as you return home in that taxi, your mind starts thinking, what else is possible for me? Breathing in and breathing out. Feel like you're returning to the present moment with a new perspective. A perspective that an interview is just a conversation, and you've had thousands of conversations. This is something you know how to do. You feel relaxed, you feel confident, and whenever you anticipate a future media appearance, the evaluation will be, is it worth my time? And if it is, then you feel that you know exactly how to do that. Breathe in and breathe out and feel like you're returning to the present. And I want you to get a sense that that three-dimensional geometric shape is still there. There in that location, giving you a sense that whenever you need it, the confidence is there. Whenever you think of that three-dimensional shape, you can activate confidence. Whenever you need to, you can just wiggle your toes and feel a sense of relaxation and playfulness. I want you to imagine you're now back home, watching the same interview, but now as if it's the future, watching a pre-record of a live interview. But I want you to imagine you have X-ray vision, and you can see that version of you with a glowing shape right there. All along it was there. That confidence, that certainty that this was going to go well was there. And I want you to pay attention, because perhaps right before the interview starts, you notice, but nobody else would, toes are being wiggled, You see yourself smiling and looking relaxed, knowing that you've activated this playful, relaxed, confident version of you that is intentionally enjoying this interview. If you feel that observing it, experiencing it, and then reviewing it all reveal a relaxed, confident, lively, playful, credible, authentic, conversational version of you, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. Breathe in and breathe out. And feel like you're returning to this present moment as you take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Feel that playful confidence returning as I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling resourceful and excited about the future. Because after one becomes the next, and you could imagine what many different media appearances could do for your business, your brand, your connections, your network, and your experiences. And you start to feel a wonderful feeling of positive excitement and anticipation, starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.